Just got the contract on his house, getting the inspection right now. You can see the inspector is looking at the panel. He's up in the attic. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let me get out.
You wanna?
Oh, give me a second.
Oh man, dude, the owners are probably not gonna be that happy about this.
Probably not. I'm Jordan Lulich. This is the Lulich Corner, and today we're sitting down with Donovan Camarotti from Camarotti Homes, and we just watched literally an inspector
Fall through the ceiling.
right there. So was that rehearsed? Like that's the first thing that pops into mind. Like you like what are you doing at the property, and like why is this inspector falling through the roof in the garage?
So so many of the comments there were two things on this video. Like number one, was it staged? Number two, why didn't you move the ladder for him?
That's right.
Because he's just standing there. Yeah. I think I was just so in shock because he came that was like not like a foot through the ceiling. That was like complete. Falling through the ceiling, catching herself on the trusses,
and he's just dangling there, and you're like, yeah, the owners are probably gonna be mad, man. And he's just dangling, trying to pull himself out.
Well, and I think the reason I didn't put the ladder under him is because you could see him trying to get his knee up on the truss and everything like that.
I saw that.
It was that, and plus I was just so in shock of what happened.
So that wasn't staged.
No.
Wow. So tell us a little, why are you there, and why are you recording a video?
I mean, obviously, if you guys follow me or have ever seen my Instagram, I'll just record videos at properties, and whether they get posted or not, I like to put it out there
because you're flipping houses all the time.
Exactly.
Right? So you go around just recording videos.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
That makes a little bit more sense because that's the first thing is this staged? Because you're there literally right when the inspector falls through the roof, but you're recording all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I post videos like that all the time. So it wasn't out of the ordinary to be recording there, right?
Yeah. It's out of the ordinary. He fell through the roof.
I mean, I've seen a few times people will step through the roof or through the ceiling, and there's a foot or whatever. That's happened quite a few times.
Yeah.
But completely falling like that.
Was he okay?
He was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Just a little
fine.
shocked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would be.
So he literally comes through, and at the end of the video, let's take a look at it, and we'll just put it up here for a second. You can literally see the extent of the damage of the it's maybe 10 feet, that looks like?
Yeah, maybe 5-6 feet.
5-6 feet.
In each direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there was severe, a couple sheets of drywall.
Yeah, and you don't own the property, right?
Not at this point, no.
Man, you hire someone, they're doing an inspection for you. You're under contract to buy,
Yes.
I'm assuming?
Uh-huh.
So you're under contract to buy. So when you leave, the homeowners have this hole in their roof, literally, right?
Yeah, literally. Thankfully, it was in the garage.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the living room.
Right.
Okay, because that would have been...
Fair enough. Yeah, that would be even worse. But, I mean, how does that conversation get? You call up the property owner right then and there? What do you do?
Well, the lady was actually, she was there. And, I mean, it was, the drywall wasn't in that great a shape anyway. And it was probably going to need to get replaced. And, this was closing in a week, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
So she's there, was she upset? What?
Not what you would expect.
Okay.
All right.
People react differently. Some people are enraged, some people are it's fine.
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. This was a property that was not in good shape as it was, right?
Okay.
And she was going to sell in a week.
Okay.
So she didn't really care that much.
Fair enough.
Obviously if it was a beautiful home, maybe the chance of selling wasn't going to happen or it wasn't going to go through, then okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. Then I would be upset. But the house is not that good a shape anyway, and she's going to sell it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was trashed. I mean, if you see I think that I have other videos on my Instagram of how that house looked. It was not nice.
When you ask the question in the video, one of the little captions you have, I think it's actually on the videos, who should pay for this?
Yeah,
right?
Right.
So does she end up paying for it? Does the inspector, do you pay for it? I mean, I'd like to know who actually paid for it, and then we could talk legally, who's legally responsible.
Yeah, definitely. Well, okay, so we were going to do the renovation anyway, right?
Right.
So
were you going to tear down the
we were
ceiling?
going to tear it completely down, but but we were going to have a drywall guy go there anyway. So it wasn't crazy extra work. So maybe the drywall guy charged an extra $200 for it. It wasn't crazy since we were going to be doing work there anyway. The inspector just waived his fee,
and that's what
that
I'm
was
thinking.
Fair.
I'm ultimately, I think it's going to be the inspector because it's not your responsibility. You hired a professional. It's definitely not the seller's responsibility to pay for it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it was the inspector who made that mistake, and like what did he say happened? Like, did he like just make a wrong step, or was it just loose? Or
what I think happened is that there was obviously, if you ever walked in the attic, you'll know that you want to step on the trusses and obviously not on the drywall. Like, it's pretty common sense.
Right.
What I believe happened was that there was a piece of wood there, like he thought it was a truss and it wasn't. He stepped on that, that's what happened, and that's why it was so catastrophic.
So he actually, like, did he step on wood that was above the drywall? Or
exactly.
Okay,
yes.
So it was just like a loose piece of like a 2x4.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
like that.
And it looked like it was some truss. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Fair enough. Like that, I think that's a common mistake. You guys end up flipping the property?
Yeah, actually sold it without even doing a full renovation on it.
Really?
Enough. Another investor came in and bought it. So
yeah.
It was
but you guys had a couple different offers on it, right? Like, it took you a little bit to find that end all buyer.
I think we had like 3 different contracts on it, I want to say.
Yeah. And did that roof issue ever or the garage ceiling issue ever come up in any of your deals?
Well, one guy who was actually the first buyer on it, and then he ended up backing out of the contract, funny enough. And he was trying to get his earnest money back. But, claiming that, we didn't keep the property in the shape that it was when he went into contract, which obviously wasn't true. But, we just put the drywall back up and it was fine. He had backed out because it was a bigger project than he was thinking it was going to be. And, he walked away from his earnest money. He put up a fight for it, and ended up, he ended up losing it.
So he put down, like $5,000, $10,000?
$10,000.
So he put down $10,000. And then, a lot of buyers like go under contract, they put down $10,000, and then they cancel, right? And they cancel within a due diligence period and inspection.
Yeah, within their
period.
contingencies, and they get their deposit
so
back.
So did he try canceling within a contingency period?
There were no contingencies on that house. The only contingency was clear title, because we were selling to another investor.
Yeah,
right?
So he must have been pretty confident he know what he was getting into.
Yeah. And then
where does the ceiling come into? Like, how does he like bring up the ceiling?
I think he had seen because we were marketing this property the whole time as well. So I think he had seen it before. The ceiling wasn't like that. And then, he had started looking and poking his head in the attic and stuff like that. And there was some truss damage on the complete other side of the house, which we didn't even know about. And that being said, he was like, I don't really want to get into the trusses unless it's for this much lower price, which obviously didn't work for us. I was like, hey man, you're out of your due diligence. Like, you either take it or you leave it, but you shouldn't have signed a contract if you weren't 100% confident.
You shouldn't have waived your due diligence period.
Yeah. Like, and if you deposited $10,000
on top of it. Then he tries to say like that you guys caused damage to the property and it wasn't in the same condition when he went under contract.
Yeah.
Because of that video. Like, he
used that video.
Found the video.
Yeah.
But that damage, the repairs and everything happened, like, you completely finished that before you even found a buyer, right?
Well, and, he was trying to claim, too, that it was, like, the trusses were caving in, and that's why. And I was like, no, look at this video.
So you showed him the video?
Yeah, I did. I was like, that's not what happened. Here you go.
Okay.
You can't use that.
That's hilarious. So I didn't know that. I thought he found it. I thought he was like scrolling on Instagram or Facebook.
No, I'm actually really happy I had the video. I used that as evidence.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. But then you ended up finding a second buyer, and then a third buyer came around.
Yeah, second buyer just never deposited escrow, so that was a dead deal. And then the third buyer finally deposited escrow and then took it all the way to close, and he was fine.
Donovan, if people want to watch more videos like this and follow you on Instagram, how can they find you?
I'm fairly active on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm getting on other social media platforms. So you can find me at Camarotti Homes, or if you look up Donovan Camarotti, I'll come up. That's Camarotti. Also my website, contact me there.
All right, man. Thanks for joining.
Cool, man.
Thanks for listening. Please share, subscribe to our page so we can deliver more content like this. And we'll see you next time on the Lulich Corner.